And I love the foliage.
That's a new addition. We didn't have it last week. We felt we needed a little something green.
It actually really ties the room together.
That and the rug, yes.
Yeah. Right. It makes it homey.
All right. Jaime Wyatt, what's going on? How you doing?
Doing really well. We just got off the stage over on the T-Mobile stage.
I caught the first couple songs before I had to come out here and sweat to get everything set up.
Yeah.
Sounded fantastic.
Thank you.
It sounded really, really good. How'd it feel? I mean, you said this was your first ACL performance.
Yeah, I had a great time. I mean, the sound was great, and I was surprised. People were coming over, and more were gathering as we were doing the set. And well, I think also it helped that I just had my favorite musicians with me today.
Okay.
And that was so that was really special.
How do you round up your favorite musicians?
Well, there's I made the record here in Austin, so I did have some good phone numbers from Adrian Casada, who produced the record over there in East Austin. So it was Spice and Roy Patton, India. What is their last name? They sing with Sir Woman, and they're amazing.
Okay, yeah, they're great. I know exactly. I don't know the names either, but I've seen Sir Woman many times and know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're so amazing. They they sang on the record.
Okay.
And they just had this really wonderful chemistry. So I wanted to call them up and have them come sing live too, because there's this a little bit of a gospel element when they do their thing, and but it's also modern too, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways, so and then Joshy Soul flew in from Los Angeles, and I wrote some of the songs on this new record with Joshy, so he's been playing with us for a minute, off and on.
Okay.
And then my core group is based out of Nashville.
All right, so the new album, Feel Good, out in November.
Yeah, Feel Good.
World Worth Keeping, hear it on Sun Radio.
Nice.
It is a very optimistic song in maybe not so optimistic times. So what made you want to write it? What was the genesis behind it?
I think it came very much from a pleading place, and I don't, I might have the pandemic and having so much information and everything that's going on worldwide. That was what influenced my emotions around that song, but it was also personal relationships and just feeling like people just so desperately need hope.
Yes.
And in a time where I find myself just I try to be so accountable. I'm so accountable all the time, and I'm hyper vigilant, and I'm doing all this stuff, and I'm just doing, and I'm not being. And I figured, I'm not alone in that need.
Yeah.
That people really need that. So, I kind of went out on a limb. It's a bit ostentatious to call an album Feel Good, I think.
Right.
But I it's the thesis. I want to learn how to feel good more and more. And this music is the catalyst, for that.
And I think you're right. I mean, I think now it's like, a lot of people after the pandemic, whether it was a movie that came out or a TV show that came out or a song that it had, and I understand completely, but it had a darker feel to it after everything we all went through. So
yes, exactly.
I mean, you do hear a song like this, and it does put a smile on your face, and it's like, you know what, that makes me feel good. And
I'm still sticking it to the man in the verses.
Sure.
I'm still ragging on billionaires for ruining the planet, but there's a lot of hope in that tune.
Yes, that's what it's about. Yeah. So it's got a more soulful sound.
Yeah.
Than maybe some of your other stuff.
Yeah.
So was that just, I want to explore something new, a different sound, a different side of me?
Yeah, thank you. That's it's definitely a new direction. But it was kind of going that way. I've been into soul and old school R&B for a long time. Always appreciated singers like Otis Redding but I got into some Al Green, and I got into some Curtis Mayfield, and I tried to really... It was because I was picking up piano that I started going down these different rabbit holes. And I used the pandemic, I was grateful that I could have somewhere, to work on music, and I was able to use that time and study a little bit and really go down what I got to do is kind of go down a rabbit hole musically, playing instruments but also listening. So yeah, the soul influence, it's just kind of I don't know what brought me there, except for that it just felt like the next right thing. I know I've always been obsessed with a 4 on the floor beat,
right?
And I incorporated that with Neon Cross, and so that the 4 on the floor directly, I had a gallop on that last single, the last album, and it was really cool. It was almost a 4 on the floor, but
right.
This time I was like, no, we're doing the full thing. We got to go hard. I think
right.
it just became something, and working with Joshy Soul and collaborating with musicians, my live band even too, and we found the sound. So yeah, it's a mixture of everything.
So you mentioned Adrian Quesada, of course, produced the record.
Right.
Met Adrian for the first time last year at ACL, and after just a quick talk, I'm like, he is one of the coolest people
he really is.
on the planet. So what was it? What was it like working with him?
Oh, it was fantastic. I mean, the coolest thing to me, his studio, his gear, his ears, his choice of, what chain they're using over at Electric Deluxe. It's all really, really tasty gear to begin with. But then he's like a really amazing guitar player, and he comes from a different school, of guitar than I did, or that I'm used to have, totally different approach.
Right.
So we got him to play on the record on guitar on a song called "Love Is a Place," and that was a really cool turning point, because that's when the styles really started melding. Because he comes from Latin guitar and soul and doo-wop. I don't know, he does it all, but I know he was influenced by Latin guitar as a young person. So
right. So I was looking at your website, seeing what you got going on, maybe tour show wise. After ACL on the website, at least, there wasn't a whole lot.
Not yet, because we're about to drop a whole bunch of dates.
Okay, that's what I wanted. That's what I was going to ask. So you do have a tour, obviously, with the new record coming out. So you're going to get out and behind that.
Yes, we're going to have a big headline tour.
Like it.
And that'll announce next week. Or no, coming up in October 16th. I think that's next. I think that's in a few days.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
It's Monday. It's Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's Tuesday.
I lose track of time here at ACL.
So, it's coming up soon. We're going to announce all of these headline dates. There's 20, 25, a ton of different cities on there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we're about to hit it hard, the top of the year.
So I noticed recently you sang on a tune with the Dropkick Murphys.
Yes, yeah.
So I'm like, and you basically...
Those guys are fun.
You sing a breakup letter in this song, or I'm leaving you kind of thing, or found somebody new. So how did that come about?
Yeah, it's so funny.
Bring It Home was the song. Bring It Home.
Bring It Home, because I was going to ask which song, because I did a couple.
Okay.
And it started with them asking me to sing Nikki Lane's part at a live show, because they wanted to take me on tour. They were
cool.
They did a Woody Guthrie album and ventured into a lot of Americana spheres. So they wanted a more roots artist to come open, and so I did that. And then they asked me to sing live, that "Never Get Drunk No More" song.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, because I'm not supposed to get drunk anymore. I don't. I haven't in 6 years. So that's cool. And we hit it off on that note with the Dropkick Murphys, and I'm my dad's family. They're all Irish Catholic, so. They actually they asked me to sing on the record because we had so much fun.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's very, very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what's next besides the tour? Anything?
Well, we've got. Oh my gosh, we got this really. Well, the album drop. We'll have a couple parties. Not in Austin, but the album drops November 3rd. Feel good. And on November 10th, we're going to play Orville Peck's Rodeo at Pappy and Harriet's out in Joshua Tree, California, out by LA,
Sure.
That's going to be a big thing. It's a 3-day thing out there, and there's a bunch of amazing artists that'll be out there. So we're preparing for that, but we're doing a lot of radio and a lot of recorded video shows in New York City this week.
Okay.
Yeah, we just played in Dallas last night. So we take like a little break, but we also do December with Nathaniel Radcliffe. It's like, sorry. December with Nathaniel in Denver.
Okay.
And that's his like big Christmas show at Ballerina.
So no time off. It's just
no,
full
we're
on
working
go
towards,
from here on out.
Yeah, we have like bigger shows this fall and winter, but there's not as many of them. We just gotta train up to them, you know.
I get it.
We'll be rehearsing.
Jaime Wyatt, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
New record, Feel Good, out November 3rd. Be sure to get it.
Awesome.
Hear the new song on Sun Radio.
Right
Thank you
on.
so much.
Thank you. Thanks for playing the songs.
Cool.
All right.